found The Naked Truth. Lively discussions about business, marketing, and personal development for small business owners. No hype, just help.
Welcome everybody for Tools Tuesday. You want to stick around, actually you want to show up today because we're going to give you a 5-minute hack to get your email automation done. But before that, we have a much more important topic to talk about. Paul Ramsey, did you send the cookies?
Shit, I've not baked cookies yet. I'm gonna. I've been incredibly busy. Crizel, you're gonna get your cookies. You will, I promise.
So
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bake them tonight and mail them. I want to bake them late so they don't sit too long, and I want to bake them tonight and then mail them first thing in the morning.
There you go. And so why is Crizel getting cookies from Paul? Is because she was on our wheel of names simply by commenting and engaging and leaving messages and being part of this conversation. We spun the wheel Friday and she came up. And so if you guys want to join us and put your name on the wheel, comment, engage, better yet, hop on in. BeTheNakedTruth.com/live. Come in, say hi. No. We don't bite. Today, maybe, but not through the monitor. But today we're talking about email. So how much of a headache is it for you, Paul?
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is where, again, our goal is always to be honest with you guys, right? The naked truth. The naked truth for me is, as a former English teacher with a master's degree in secondary education and a bachelor's in English, I fucking hate email campaigns. Like, I'm a good writer, and when you blend it into this technology, this is tied with funnels, and it's the same thing that bothers me. I get why email campaigns are good and are a useful tool. I get it. I use Aweber, right? I've had Aweber for 7 years now.
Everybody,
but the thing is, don't start. But here's the core thing: no matter what you have, whether it's Constant Contact or Mailchimp or Aweber or ActiveCampaign, as a small business owner, what's so frustrating to me is the enormous need for testing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That when you're a small business owner and you're trying to do all these different things and you haven't gotten to a place where you have a team, that's still my big thing, is to get myself to a place where I have a team, right? And so you're trying to do your social posts and your client meetings and all these different things. And then it's like, oh, and when you can spare a minute, how about you run some split testing for which email in the drip campaign pulls better? And I'm like, yeah, because I got lots of time for that.
Right. And so, you know what? This is a question again of what do you have more of, time or money? Really.
Right.
Because there is technology out there that will tell you without you having to guess what works, what doesn't. They'll know exactly when someone is opening the email, when's a good time to mail, all that jazz. You still need to set it up, but it is a question of, deciding what your priorities are, time and money. But today, what I really want to talk about is follow-up, right? So email is all about nurturing and building communication and showing people that you're there and giving them information that they can apply, or reminding them, hey, we're live, come on in, join us. Communication, right? Just a way of communicating with people. And most of the time, you need to build these funnels. And we're only calling them funnels because of the shape, right? Like how they work. They move from one place to another. So you're following down a funnel. And you need to build this sequence of emails that, promote, nurture, communicate, all that jazz. So many times, it's very difficult to know, when should I send? What should I send? How should I send it? What should I test? Should I split test? If, else, all that jazz. So the beauty of ActiveCampaign, which is my favorite email marketing tool, is that it has everything already done for you. So check this out. With 5 minutes, you can take a recipe, automate everything, and just add it to your ActiveCampaign flow. So for example, Paul, what industry are you in? What are you interested in?
So let's see. Those are a little fuzzy for me to read. So
So
consulting.
blogger, author, consulting agency, e-commerce, retail, entertainment, event, fitness, nutrition, online training, education, other, real estate, software, travel, hospitality.
Really, I'm in 3 of them, right, Ifat? So I have an entertainment brand where I would have lists for the people that sign up at my entertainment events. I have an online training and education brand where I train hypnotists. So let's say online training and education is where I've been more focused lately.
Okay, so we'll click on that. And now you have like 3 recipes, right? You can automate a course assignment, you can have a mini course offer automation, and you can do delivery email series. So that's one of them, right? So in the entertainment and event, you can look at this. You can have a form. You can have a form already done, RSVP and follow up. You can have email or personal invite, response to a refund request, limited time exhibit workflow, subscription series, which is what most people actually need, right? A subscription series. Email automation for events. This can be a webinar, email sequence for members, pre-event email, which is kind of like a webinar or something like that. Event segmentation. So remember, we're talking about like, hey, how do we know who says what? So let's look at this one, the subscription series. So basically what it is, it tells you exactly what the automation is going to do for you. It's going to grant exclusive access to members, provide membership incentives, increase early bird ticket sales, send event reminder emails, develop your event email marketing, and create messaging for members over the entire year of events. So all that stuff is already done. All you have to do is log in, click this button, and it will put that in your ActiveCampaign. So what's nice about this marketplace, first of all, this is completely free. When you join ActiveCampaign, all these marketplace, all these recipes are completely free. And what's nice is that you don't have to think like you're like, okay, Fudge, I'm just starting with email marketing. I don't know anything about this stuff. Where do I start? So where do you start? You start with like, what is it that I want to achieve? I want to send a follow-up email. I want to send to a webinar. I want to create a sequencing email for someone coming in. I want to just send my newsletter. You start with like, what is it that I want? And then you're going to ActiveCampaign Marketplace, click about finding the automation that actually works best for you. And they have a bunch. So they can connect it with Shopify, and they can connect it with JotForm, and they can connect it with, you know, create lead scoring. So basically every person that does anything on your email list, you give them a score, and now you know what works and what doesn't work. You have tons of email. You can connect it with LearnDash, which is learning software on your own website, Google Sheet, like tons of stuff, WooCommerce, all that stuff is already done and ready for you. All you have to do is decide what is it that I want, come here, find it, click, and it's in your email, in your ActiveCampaign software. And then all you have to do is just update the emails with whatever information that's specific to you. But it takes all the guesswork out of creating email, managing email, knowing what to say. So actually we have someone watching on Twitch saying, click on nutrition. Let's click on nutrition for you. So let's look at that. And another one, he goes like, I will make you laugh. Let's see. So nutrition, fitness and nutrition. So you have fitness club trial, right? Workout goal, upsell automation, guest pass, target weight achieved automation. This is pretty cool.
And so wait,
yeah.
So when you're clicking on these, what it's doing is it's preloading, like in theory, like 3 to 5 pre-scripted emails, right?
Yes. So it's creating the entire flow for you, right? So when someone opts in to this flow, to this automation, they're going to send an email, and the email already says what it is, right? Hey, congratulations on reaching your goal. And it's a draft, and you need to optimize it to your own
you go in and
thing,
optimize,
right?
yeah.
And then it lets you know that someone did that, and then, you know, it either ends the automation or continues the automation or stuff like that. So you can have as many automation as you want running at the same time. And so before you decide whether or not you want to come to ActiveCampaign, you can look at all that stuff, be like, oh, this is super cool. And if you're not with ActiveCampaign, you can come here and look at the automation, right? And just duplicate that. So if you're sadly using Aweber, you can look at the automations here and be like, okay, this looks like a good automation. I don't need to kind of like figure it out and recreate the wheel. Let me just model what they're doing and try to do it with ActiveCampaign, with Aweber. The challenge is, good luck with that. Because Aweber doesn't do half of what ActiveCampaign does.
But I do have on Aweber, they have this part that you're demoing. They do have this. They have pre-made campaigns, not as many choices, definitely not as many choices, but they do have pre-made campaigns that will import those first 5 emails for you, and you optimize the text. And yeah, so I get the concept because I've actually done it before. What else does ActiveCampaign do that you really like that the others don't do?
So there's beautiful, beautiful things that ActiveCampaign does. For example, it can know when things are happening on your site, what your customer is looking on your site and in your email and in Facebook and your shopping cart, everything together. And they kind of figure out what the customer needs when they need it. And then they just send the information that works best for them. So it's really super, super cool. You have like maps that you can create. Granted, Paul, I mean, this does take some thinking ahead of time, right? Like it does take like, what do I want my entire thing to be like? So you will need to spend a day thinking through how does your business work, right? And then put it on ActiveCampaign. Their support is amazing. They have site tracking, which is super cool because it allows you to know where people are on your website.
Okay.
So if someone keeps coming back to your shopping cart, for example, but doesn't buy, they can create a notification email that goes out and go like, hey, you've been on our site. What's up? Or they have a chat system that tracks all that stuff. So when they're on the shopping cart site, they can say, hey, you've been here 5 times before. Is there anything that you're trying to get? And, can I help you?
Yeah.
Or they can say, hey, you've come here and you bought XYZ. Do you want to buy ABC too? Because you've been buying this. But it's in a chat message on your site that you don't have to do anything with. Like they know every customer, what they want, what they've bought, how long they've been there, where they went around the site. They communicate all that stuff. Super, super cool. So they track your visits, like a site visits, how many times people come to your site, where did they go, when did you lose them. And what's nice about this stuff, it's not like Google Analytics where you're like, okay, everybody's leaving me on my thank you page, or everybody's exiting the site on this site. Because this is connected to your email, you can now send them messages and emails and follow up and know exactly what's going on with each one of your subscribers. Like tons of really awesome stuff. So you can segment, you can automate, you can track. Honestly, this can become like a full-time job, right? Just doing that.
That's always what's sort of overwhelming about it. Yeah. But I see where it can be powerful, but you're just like, man.
There's just so much, right?
If we're going to reduce that, right? If our audience has more small business owners who aren't ready to step into something like that, what do you think what's the key to making email list usage, email campaigning? Like, where's your scaled down version of do this and you'll still get value from it without getting into all that stuff?
So I think that's a great question. I think, being consistency, right? I think we all can be better at consistently sending emails. And the other one is like, maybe you don't have to write all that stuff yourself, right? There are fantastic companies like the Morning Brew that curates information for you and sends you emails that just curated with some commentary, and they're fantastic. There are a lot of people who do that, right? Like, hey, let me give you like what's working right now, what's happening in this niche, what's going on in this market. And that way you don't have to write so much, but you can be very valuable because people don't have to search across the web to find the information that matters to them. I think that's how I became the G+ go-to gal. Because I was just like, this is what's going on in Google+, right? All over my profile. And And then people who want to know what's happening in Google Plus just came to my profile.
I would love to hear from our audience. Like, tell me one email list that you're glad you're actually on.
I just joined the Morning Brew and I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually
Yeah.
searching for their emails in the morning. So I
How
really
many
like that.
email lists would you say that you're on, if I?
I'm on a bunch, but you know what's funny? Google now started going like, hey, you haven't opened email from XYZ in a while. Do you want to unsubscribe? And I'm like, oh, it's been a while, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, unsubscribe.
I mean, that's what I think we're at a, you know, again, I don't want to sound cynical, but because again, I have these tools and I do use them. I don't probably use them as well as I should. I feel like people are more annoyed by email than they've ever been. And yet, so much of these marketing practices are built around list building that we're all, it seems like, constantly signing up for people's email lists. And I'm like, so you do it, but then like, how many of them are you glad that you're actually on? Like, when I think of that question myself, the only one that comes up is Tim Ferriss.
Okay, there you
Tim
go.
Ferriss,
Yeah.
he's got the 5-bullet Friday, and every Friday I get an email from him that says it's always the same 5 bullet points. Here's what I'm reading. Here's what I'm
Right.
listening to, right? It's just,
Right.
you know, like him
Yeah.
telling you what's going on in his life that he thinks you might enjoy also.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's almost every Friday, there's one of those bullets that interests me. And I'm like, so Tim Ferriss is bringing some value to my life, you know? And then there's always either it's the 5th bullet or technically it's a non-bullet that's after, I can't remember. But then there's something usually that is a plug, right? Like he's
Yeah.
got an affiliate deal
Yeah.
worked out
Yeah.
with someone. And he just says, hey, I use this. I like this. If you want to, here's a discount code that I've worked out with this company. And you do that. And it feels like the least salesy thing I've ever been on. And I love him for that.
So here's
You
what
know?
you said, right? You said value, you
Yeah.
said personal, and even though there's an offer, it did not feel salesy.
Right. Right.
So-
Every Friday, not just some Fridays, every Friday it's like that.
Right.
I
And
never
so you
feel-
look for it, right? So
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
not that people are annoyed by email, is that most email is not delivering value.
Right. Right.
Right. And so
Yeah.
if you approach email with I want to give value, then you'll have more readers, more subscribers, and more shares, right? And more replies.
Yeah.
And which is fantastic what you just said, because a lot of people get stuck on copy, right? Oh, we need to buy all these copy things and how to write
Yeah.
email, WhatsApp, and really
Yeah,
it matters.
I need another swipe file.
Right? It's the
Like,
headlines, it's the stuff, right? But I remember Allison was saying, like, every time you send an email, I feel like you're talking directly to me.
Yeah.
Right? So that's
Yeah.
it, right? Like, you don't need all that, bells and whistles. You just need to be
Yeah.
personal and deliver value. That's it, right? And then and that's why I like the Morning Brew, because it's like stuff that I care about. They're pretty funny. And they're summarizing everything that I want to know about. So now they're summarizing everything in marketing. Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And it's every day, right? So it's not like, oh my God, if we're going to send an email every day, people are going to unsubscribe. No, they're growing their list with referrals. People actually send referrals, right?
Yeah.
So if you reframe
Yeah.
email
Right.
to bugging people, from bugging people to like, how do I add value,
How do I help people? Yeah. How do I help people?
right?
Yeah.
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 Remember Philip Stutz? That,
Yep.
Yeah, right. Remember the COVID report that he's having on his website? So he came into our mastermind group and he goes like, I don't want to be that person who's asking for your email in exchange for something. I just want to give it away for free. And
Yep.
everybody said, well, the problem with that is that if I grab it one time and now you updated it, I don't know you updated it because you're not following up with me. So don't be that person who's sleazy and like try to push stuff once I gave you my email address, but please notify me when things are happening so I'm in the know.
Yeah.
Right. And so he
Yeah.
changed it. Now he has an opting form. But yeah. What are you
Yeah.
asking? You had an
No,
epiphany.
I'm thinking, I'm literally thinking about that. I'm just processing it out. That's interesting, right? Because he was trying to be he was trying to be good, genuinely, right? And then
Yep.
they made a good argument for how he could deliver more value by sort of following the model that he thought of as not as good.
Right.
And that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So again, it comes down to, you're really like, what's your intention, right? What's your intention behind your implementation?
Yeah.
And I just burned a list about a month ago. I burned a list that I'd had for years that was pretty small. It was only a 1,300 person list, but I finally just I deleted it. I was like,
Yeah.
this list is not serving people. And I could tell, like, when I wasn't, and it's because I wasn't being consistent.
Yeah.
And I wasn't being consistent because I didn't want to bother people.
Right.
So I only sent an email when I felt like I had something that really would bring them value. Like if
Yep.
I came out with a new hypnosis audio recording and I wanted to give it away for free, I would just, and I would actually, this is part of where I got angry. Like I was like, are you kidding me? Like I would, so remember when I did the worldwide online wellness conference?
Yep.
Right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Free.
Yeah.
3 days, 35 experts, all just talking about things we could do to help our wellness for free.
Right.
And but you had to sign up with an email so that we could get access to it.
Right.
And then we didn't do what a lot of people do. We didn't take it down after 3 days and then sell it to you for 40. We didn't do any of that.
Right.
We just put it out there for people because we were trying to help. And when I sent that email out to people saying, this is what we're doing, there's no catch, you just got to sign up so you can get to the site and everything. And I only had like one or two, but I had people who hit the complaint button on my Aweber and were like, and I'm like, first of all, you signed up for this email list. Second of all, you confirmed that you
Right.
wanted to be on this email list. And now I'm sending you something for free and you're mad at me about it? I was like, what is going on? Like,
It's
what's
very
going on?
interesting, right? Because I'm starting to think that really, honestly, like if you charge $5, just $5 for something, people won't complain, because when you pay attention, right? And when it's
Yeah.
free, people go like, oh, there's a catch, or you're bugging me. There's no value to it because it's free, right?
But I think that's the bigger sin that I think I created, was in trying to not bother people, I didn't grow my relationship with them.
Yeah.
Right? So then they haven't heard from me in 3 months. And then I send them this email, and some of them, because they were at colleges that I toured at, literally don't even recognize my name and know who's sending them the email.
Right.
They're like, who's this a-hole? And right. And then they're mad. And you're like, yeah, so you created that problem because you didn't.
But you know what?
email
So this is
regularly.
fantastic, because that's where automation comes in and can help, right?
Yeah.
Like you can send a 21-day automatic thing where you're just adding value. Every once in a while, you pop in with something new and current that's happening, but you're
Right.
consistently in touch. I haven't done that either, you know.
That's
like
what
I
I'm
said,
doing with
yeah.
my new list. My new list that I'm building for the high impact hypnosis site. I keep adding, they get one email a week.
Yep.
And they're never trying to sell them anything. It's always just, what I'm trying to do is remind them, hey, you made an account at this site for free, take advantage of it. And I'm linking them to the resources. Head back over and use the free hypnosis audio library. Head back over and read these free blog articles. Head back over and use these personal development programs, because they're free for these people, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, but if you forget, life gets busy, right?
Right.
If you forget and you don't use it, then you're not getting the value. And I want people to get the value of it. So I have this thing set up where basically I'm trying to highlight just another little particular part of it each time.
So
And go,
question
and
for
you can
you,
use it for
right?
free.
So here's a question. Have you considered creating, like when someone opts in, going like, hey, thanks for opting in. Why did you opt in? What are you looking to get out of it? Weight loss, relaxation, hypnosis, right? And based on that, you can now send them whatever it is that you want. It will be more applicable to their needs.
So I'd have to set up tags, right? Based on how they answer, I'd have to tag them and segment them as an audience member,
So you
right?
could
That's
do
where
that.
you get,
Yeah.
right?
With ActiveCampaign, you could create and apply that to your Aweber. But with ActiveCampaign, right, you basically have an automation, like a different automation for each section, right? And the first
Right.
email goes like, do you want this, or this, right? And when they click on that link, they're added to that automation, and now they're only
Right.
in that. You can
So
do
in
it with
Aweber,
us.
they call it segmentation, right? So what you do is you have to have a way to tag
You can do
the
that,
person
yeah.
with a tag, and the tag directs them into the automation branch, the
Yeah.
segmentation branch. I get it.
You
Yeah.
can do that.
And that's
Now,
another one that I'm like, I should be doing that. And I haven't been, because I'm like, dude, it's a lot of time. And it is, but it's like, if I would just do it and get it set up, right, then it wouldn't be so much time in the long term. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you'll get better engagement, right? And the other thing that I think a lot of people forget with email is that we're always kind of like, we're using it as a one-way communication. Here's my stuff, here's more videos, here's a thing, here's a thing,
Right.
right? But you could use it as a two-way communication because people can reply, right? So
Well, that's another thing I'm kind of proud of myself that I do is I make sure that every few emails I ask a question and
Yep.
say, what's your, I ask some kind of question like, if you could change your life in any way right now, what would it be? Reply and tell me.
yep.
Like I do, and I hope, I don't know, and I think that maybe people who are marketing savvy probably think that's me trying to get them to say something so I can try to sell them something.
Right.
But I'm only ever doing it thus far just to try to get someone to answer me so then I can respond back to them and grow a relationship. Yeah.
And you know what? This is kind of like a trial and error, right? Like when people respond to you, then they'll know you're not trying to sell them anything.
Yeah.
But maybe look at the wording that you use.
Yeah.
That makes them feel like thing. But email is fantastic if we don't use it as just a marketing tool, right? But more as a communication engagement tool.
Yeah.
And there are many, many ways that we can become like super geeky with it. Or just very, very simple, right? Like the important thing is to get started. What I love about ActiveCampaign is that their support is phenomenal. So if you're just starting out and you are wondering like, oh, I don't know anything about email and I need some help and I need personalized help, ActiveCampaign is fantastic in that. So highly recommend use it. And Rajesh is following us from Twitter. Like this is kind of like second day, which is cool, right? And he's actually commenting with some valuable stuff. So Rajel, you're already on the wheel, my friend, from yesterday. Let's see
buddy.
here. He's here you are. You're on the right.
There you are.
So
Natalie
super cool.
and Rob
Super cool. We'll see you tomorrow.
Rowan.
And tomorrow we are taking our audience questions. So we have a question left on our website by Natalie Walsh right here. And she's talking about the shiny object syndrome. She would love to have passive income business. And she's asking about what is it best? It is best to move your activities, video, content, photos to your own website, and also landing pages, opt-in thank yous, collect email and phone numbers. So, and then to communicate to your audience in mass email and text messages. So Natalie is basically asking about a system, right? Like what system do I use to grow my business, get passive income, and promote her real estate business? So tomorrow, we're going to discuss that.
All right, I'm in.
All right. And maybe Paul would have been sending his cookies.
No, they'll be sent. They'll be sent. I'll tell you that right now.
Before tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's episode, come back and spend more time with us. You could be on the broadcast sharing your thoughts. We hang out live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern at www.bethenakedtruth.com/live.